Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Wow, you both look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Who do we have here before us?
We are Junior and Emily, a brother and sister salsa duo.
Yes.
Oh! How long have you been salsaing together?
We've been dancing for about 17 years.
Wow.
It was actually our father that pushed us into dance.
Why?
I actually was a little bit of a troublemaker.
Wow.
And if it wasn't for dance, it saved our life, period. If it wasn't for
Period.
dance, we wouldn't be...
Good for
Yeah.
you guys. Well, good luck, guys. Enjoy yourselves.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you.
Now that we've introduced the main musical elements, here comes the beat. Now check this out. One, two, three.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I'm loving this.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you want more, click right down here and subscribe.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Diamond Rivera of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast. This is episode 140, and you just saw a past episode on America's Got Talent with one of our special guests, the one and only Emily Alabi.
Hi. Hi,
Emily,
Diamond.
hey, Emily. I mean, hey, it's been too long. I mean, I think the last time we saw each other was 2019 New York Salsa Congress. I think it was
Yeah.
like tech rehearsal. But, just seeing now 2021 to see you in good health and good spirits. It's really good to connect again.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's good to be talking to you, especially just being able to be interviewed by somebody that I have a connection with and that I've known for years. And it's cool. It's different and I like it. And I'm excited to see, what we get into today, what kind of conversation it comes out of our
Absolutely. I mean, hey, as you said, we do go way back. I mean, even going, I would say that the mid 2000s, our experience of hitting the stages at New York Salsa Congress, Texas Congress, LA, of course. And, for me, seeing your trajectory, your journey, especially with you and your brother Junior, but especially you really going from the dancing world now into the acting world and seeing many movies that you've been a part of and projects. Honestly, this is a chance for me with this platform to celebrate you, to give you your flowers from one artist to another, just to thank you for your contribution to this dance community.
Oh, thank you, Diamond. Yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm grateful for all of it, the ups, downs, the highs, the lows. I mean, yeah, I really am. I just can't believe it sometimes, like from where
Mhm,
I grew up and from where I come from, and just to be in the position that I am right now, and where I hope to be,
mhm.
in the future. I'm just so grateful, and I feel very just blessed and lucky and thankful to God every single day. I don't take any of it for granted.
Absolutely. And realizing too, of course, while we'll celebrate your success, it's also important to understand the human being, because I think sometimes that gets lost. I think people
For sure.
see many of us on a stage for 2-3 minutes and have their pre-assumptions on who we are and what we're capable of. But having this moment really to have you tell your story before someone else can tell it for you is really important. So,
Hmm.
how I always start my episodes with every guest is, of course, we're going to talk about the success and experiences along the way, but I think it's very important first to understand who Emily is before AGT, before Runaways, before Teen Wolf, before Selena, just understanding truly who Emily Alabi is before it all. And the floor is
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm originally from San Francisco, and it's crazy because I recently had a breakthrough. Um, okay, so I started not wanting to dance. I was very
Mm,
resistant. We grew up in what we call like the ghetto in San Francisco. We didn't have much money, and Junior was out on the streets getting into a lot of trouble. I was the
mm,
little sister following, in his footsteps, and so we started to kind of go in that direction, right? Be
mm,
consumed by our environment, what was normal, right? And my dad started to see that, and he was taking salsa lessons at the time. He was a part of a company called the Latin Symbolics with our
mm,
wonderful teacher, Ava Apple. Um, and basically, my dad was like, I want to, have you guys do something productive with your time. And so he basically like pushed us into class. It was also an opportunity for him to keep an eye on us. We
mhm,
hated it. We were so resistant. And but Ava was just she had so much belief in us, and she
mhm,
really pushed us to just be not only, good dancers, but just be professionals. She really focused on like integrity and loyalty and being on time and being a, man and woman of your word, and all these important factors that really have carried carried with us throughout our career. And
mhm,
so we fell in love with dancing after being, a part of it for a couple years. We were like, oh, we could actually do this. And so, we kind of started traveling all over the world and started to create our own style. ESPN was really the competition that
mm,
exposed us to the world. And that was run by Albert Torres, Mr. Albert Torres, rest in peace. And then we got contacted a lot for a lot of commercial events. Like AGT had
mhm.
contacted us back in the day. And so, I think our style was very commercial. And I
Yeah.
think that had a lot to do with us starting so young. We were influenced by other types of music, and we wanted to do
Mm,
stuff that was cool and fun and different. And so, yeah, we started to kind of take on our own style and started to just do our own thing. And more opportunities led to more opportunities,
yeah.
our first big opportunity, we were contacted to do a Las Vegas show. I mean, I was like 16 years old, and that
Wow.
was like, just an amazing like I just couldn't believe it. And I feel like dance really exposed us to this whole world that we never knew existed. And I'm
Mhm,
so thankful for that, because not only, did it give us so many, a platform for so many opportunities, but we got to meet so many incredible human beings.
mm.
Anyway, so we moved to LA. I went to UCLA, my dream
Okay.
school. And I'm thankful because I came from a school where we didn't have college prep classes. A lot of the people
Mm.
from juvenile hall got sent to my school. My school was not was not good at all. And basically, because of my dance resume, I was able to get into the arts program at UCLA. So we made the move. We got connected. I don't know if you know Alex De Silva. He
Yes,
was one of the
absolutely.
OG dancers. Yeah, he basically got assigned to his agency, who we're still with, Block Talent Agency. And we just started to be introduced to the commercial world. And then
Mhm.
from there, I got introduced to like the acting world, and it all kind of worked
It
out
worked.
perfectly. But it's crazy because like we never expected to live the life that we live. We just
Yeah.
trusted the journey as it was unfolding. And then I look back at it, talking about the breakthrough that I had, is I recently realized that when I was like 6 years old, I never forget, I was in the living room with my dad watching Barney and Friends. I don't know if you
Mm.
know the show Barney.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yep.
okay. And so I never forget being just so inspired and in
Mhm.
awe of that show. And I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, I want to be on the show. Like, I want to dance. I want to act. I want to sing. Like, I want to do what they're doing. Can you call them? Like, I was like 6. I had no idea. And he was like, yeah, yeah. And then that kind of just, went to the side. I forgot about it. I just, you grow up in your environment, and it's almost like we forget that there's more.
Yes.
Until we're like exposed to it, and we're like, holy shit, there's like so much in this world, so many opportunities, so much potential to just really be fulfilled and do what we love. And then so here we are 20 plus years later, still working our butts off every day and pursuing our dreams, and we're just relentless. We are really, really relentless. And yeah, so here I am. That was all like in a nutshell.
Hey, I mean, I appreciate it, but for me as well, like you said, your experience goes back many years ago with the Latin Symbolics. I think I still remember you performed at the New York Salsa Congress. I think you were wearing like a black dress. This is yes, I'm going way back. So this is when I was like, wow, in 2005. So I mean,
maybe,
for me, just to see everything, but for me, also having the opportunity with me being part of the Heartbreak Boys from Dave Melendez and Starlight, we were able to get to travel together and going to places like LA. And for me as well, I think it was important being around people around my age and people who are trapped. Because I think too, people don't understand a lot of the salsa world, especially, was made of older people that were there trying to guide the younger people. People like Edwin Rivera, of course, coming from Starlight, teaching me for almost 8 years, but exposing me to that world of saying, you're not just conducive to New York. There's a lot more out there. And realizing, going to places like LA Salsa Fest, when even back then when they had in the tent, the old school days.
Oh my God, Salsa Land, yeah.
And realizing too how far this community has grown, because what you said was important. ESPN, if people don't realize, there was a time, especially mid 2000s into the 2010s, when salsa especially was on ESPN. You had the championships, you had people from all over the world, and that was one of the examples of saying, wow, what we love doing or going to 3 days out of a weekend is actually being pushed and promoted, and we're getting shine and recognition now. A question I have for you is of going through that process, especially at ESPN, with a competition base and performing alongside other performers from all over the world. What were some memories from that really kind of stay in your mind?
Oh man, I have so many memories. I think specifically for ESPN, I think during that time, competition really promoted creativity and individualism. And I think that at the time we weren't so focused on, obviously, if you check out the videos, like lack of technique and lack of so many polished elements, but the fire, the passion, the creativity was all there. And I think that just going into the studio and just having the freedom to just create and dance and then go and showcase that and just perform your heart out without being like, was my foot turned out? You know what I mean? I think that was just so fun. I felt like there was we weren't like in this cage or box, and so that was awesome. And just getting to travel with the same people like every weekend, and building a bond with them and feeling like I had family all over the world, literally. It was just such a blessing. And I feel like, being exposed to different cultures and communities, I mean, you just find so much gratitude in your own. And I'm just so thankful for that, because we learn to be flexible, to adjust, to be, grateful. And yeah, like it was just awesome. Memories that I'll never forget.
Absolutely. And of course, coming from ESPN, but also really within our salsa world, our congresses that we've had over the years. And, when people like you and Junior are performing, people really just clamor to just watch you guys in awe. And for me, I really felt, especially seeing you guys early on, how different the creative process was different, because we realized in our salsa world, there are so many teams, so many companies, and it's really up to those people to separate yourself from everyone else. So a question I really have is, you of course working with Junior, especially early on, what was that creative process like of saying, we want to do things different? Of course, seeing your routines are already different, but how did that process really come about?
Well, I don't think that we went into the studio and we're like, how can we be different? I think that we were just always, we just followed what inspired us, and we just tried things. And I know Junior, and he says this till this day, he says, no idea is stupid. And so it was taking something that just, we're like, hey, why don't we try this, and just experimenting with that,
Yeah.
and not being afraid to experiment with that. And I feel like nowadays there's so much criticism and judgment that I feel like it scares people to be leaders, and to try things and to be different, because there's so much shit talking, you know what I mean? And what I tell people is, I say, well, you can't be successful being a copy of something else. So, Nike is Nike. And if you try to be a Nike, you're always going to be compared to Nike. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, you got to be something else. And so, yeah, that, I think that's how we approached pretty much like everything that we did. We just went in and we're just like, let's just create and see what comes out of it. I know that the music, playing with the electronic music, that came from
Yes.
AGT. So we were back in AGT for the first time around in 2000. I don't even remember. 2007. I don't
Yeah, I think it was
remember.
2007 or 8. I
Yeah,
remember around
so
that time. Yeah.
something like that. And I remember the producers were like, "Hey, we love you guys, but nobody knows salsa music, and our audience, which is Middle America, they don't know, they're not going to be able to connect." And we're like, "No, we're going to do salsa because we're salsa dancers, you know." And they're like, "Why don't you guys try some more commercial music? People love, like electronic music, like something that's super hyped." And
Mhm.
so obviously we didn't make it past the second round because of what they had told us.
Yeah.
And so one time, I think Junior was just like, "Hey, I really like this song." We put it on stage. It was like this footworking routine that we had.
Yep.
The music was super electronic and people loved it. And we're like, oh my God, okay, well, maybe this is something that we should look into doing. And just, we loved it. We were inspired by the music. So that became kind of our thing. And so that's what I'm saying. It's like, no idea is stupid. You just try everything. It's really, really important to just be open, really, as an artist, to just be open, and not have the mentality that you know everything and that you
Mhm.
know it all, because you don't. And no matter how much you know, there's still so much that you don't know. And it's like, that's where the growth happens, right? But if I approach something and I'm like, I mean, even with spinning, as much
Yeah.
as people are like, "Oh my God, you're like a master of spins," I'm like, yeah, I mean, we've spent years, like,
Exactly.
trying to perfect a perfect spin, but we're still like, how can we be faster? How can we be cleaner? How can we be, have
Mhm.
more precision? It's like constantly finding of ways of how to just make everything better and be better. So I think that's really important, being an artist. It's never done. It's never done. The work, I mean.
Hey, I could definitely say, especially in the Congress life, and I'm from my personal experience, you and your brother's routines were game changing, and in such the best way, but also like you said, the mocking, the kind of copying, and understanding that. What I noticed is that when people saw the formula of how you guys did things, people didn't understand it's your creative process. It's a difference of
Mm-hmm.
paying homage, and there's a difference between saying, I like that move, let me do it because I see I
Mm-hmm.
might get the same reaction. And for me,
Mm-hmm.
for many years, I've seen people really push the envelope, especially on their spinning, especially on their technique and balance. And really, I have to give a big praise to both of you guys for so long because, like you said, you put so many years in. And to see how far our salsa world has grown to even now with movies like In the Heights,
Oh
showcasing
my
some of
God,
the
yeah.
dances we see.
Mm-hmm.
Representation matters. To be honest, when you and Junior first came on America's Got Talent, how amazing it was, like to watch people that I've been in the same hotel rooms with, backstage with, and seeing like, yes, this is where representation is seen. Because for so long we want to say with our community, where are we being represented? Where are we being shown? What light are we put in? Because as you
Mm-hmm.
said, the commercial aspect of mainstream
Yeah.
is we like the art form, but you have to make it more commercial for the appeal of the
Hmm.
public. Because again, like you said, making that decision to change the song was actually beneficial because it
For
captured a new
sure.
audience.
For
And
sure. And yeah, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mhm. No, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, and it's crazy because so the audition that you just played, that wasn't the song that they okay, so the audition came out. We had
Yeah.
performed Celia Cruz, Kimbara, but they
Yes.
had dubbed over this commercial song. So
Wow.
that the song that you see is not even the one that we had like performed live. And so again, it's about Junior and I have always had this mentality. We're like, listen, how can we expose our community on the grand level to the
Yeah.
masses, right? And so it's like we have to get their attention. We have to do things that are cool and visually appealing for people to be like, what is that, right?
Mhm.
It's not all the time gonna be, you know, 100% traditional and
Yeah.
like not all the time, right? Like In the Heights was a different movie, and I'm so grateful that we're able to really, bring more of the culture and the essence, like
Mhm.
the raw authenticness of it. But
Yeah.
that was a rare opportunity for our community, right? A lot of other salsa and Latin stuff that's on TV, it has to be presented in a way where it's appealing to the masses. But
Mhm.
once people are in and they're engaged and they're locked in, that's when they do more of the research, and it's like we open the door for them to walk
Mhm.
into our whole world. But first we got to get them to want to open the door,
Yes.
right? And so a lot of people will judge and hate and critique, and it's like, listen, people, like I get what you guys are saying, but there's also another side to it that you have to
Mhm.
understand. You know what I mean? So not everything is black and white. And so so yeah, I just have to put my 2 cents on that. Because
No, absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, hey, to be honest, with all your years of experience and the many places you've traveled to all over the world, I mean, hey, your journey's extensive and kind of going through it, it's like memory lane. But a question I have for you is, of course, over the years, gaining notoriety, but even coming back to events with dancing, what was it like for you? Did you feel like a lot of people, when they would ask you to dance, were trying to overperform or over dance to kind of, because that's a question I've always had was, you go into socials and we know socials go anywhere until 6 in the morning. What were those moments like of going to congresses and, now people are really wanting to dance with you? What were those moments like for you?
Um, yeah, I think, listen, I'm grateful that people even want to dance with me. Like
Mm,
truly, you know what I mean? Um, but I there was a point where it's like I felt like social dancing was also a performance. And
mm,
so I just wanted to I even, this is gonna sound crazy, but I almost enjoy sometimes dancing with beginners more than
mm.
like the professionals, because they're like, oh, I don't really know any moves, and I'm like, that's fine. Like I just
Yes.
want to connect with you and do basics and like side steps, and
Yeah.
we're good. You know what I mean? Like I just want to enjoy and have fun. So,
Yes.
as much as I'm grateful, sometimes it felt like it was like too much, and so but then again, it's like, who am I to judge? Because people are excited and they want to throw out, all their best moves at you.
Mhm.
So I get that aspect of it. But we're a community, and we support each other, and I'm open to dancing with everybody. I'm not the type of, dancer that's going to be correcting you and making sure you're
Yeah.
on time on the dance floor. I'm not that person. I am like, let's just have fun. Let's connect. If we're off
Yes.
time, we're off time. As long as we're having fun. I tell people all the time, as long as you're smiling, that's what matters. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So there's a time and a place. If you learn in class, you focus in class, you stress yourself out in practice and rehearsals, all that stuff. On the dance floor, the social dance floor is a whole different story for me. Just want to have a good time.
Absolutely, because I mean, hey, nothing's more annoying, in my opinion, is when people are trying to dance with you and they trying to do the moves that they see and trying to practice them. Hey, that definitely, if you're not junior, don't try it, please. I don't,
I've had there's been girls that literally go up to Junior like, "Can you just spin me?" And he's like, "What?"
what? And like, can we just
Yeah,
dance?
we've had it all. We've had it all.
Oh,
But it's all
hey.
good.
So then, Emily, of course, throughout your dancing in your career, of course, you get opportunities. Doing one event provides more events in the future. So, When did that transition then to acting come about? Because, we've seen your many shows, but trying to understand how it all came about.
Yeah. So nobody really knows this, but I had like 3 big opportunities where I got called in
Mm,
directly from producers because of my dance background.
yeah.
Um, two of them were for a movie. Another one was to go on tour with this huge artist. I'm not even gonna say his name, but and basically they wanted me to be a dancer and
Hmm.
actress, and I got to the very last step because of my dancing. I mean, I've had casting directors come out of the room and say, "Hey, if we get you an acting coach, like, would you be fine with that?" And I'm like, "Of course, you
Yeah.
know." Um, I obviously didn't book those opportunities because my lack of acting, which I'm so grateful that I did not get those jobs because I wouldn't have been ready. So it got to the point where I remember leaving like the last big thing. I left the casting office and Junior picked me up and I was crying
Mm,
so much. And I was like I hate this feeling of being so close and not getting it because of my lack of acting. And so he's like, I think it's time for you to take acting class. But I was scared. I was
mm,
comfortable being a dancer. And I was like, starting to do something brand new. I
yeah.
didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to be good at it. And he's like, you know what, sis? He's like, I'm gonna sign you up. And I was like, I don't know, but I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a sign from God that God's like, you got to go to acting classes, Emily, if this is something that you want to pursue, like the arts and entertainment.
Yeah.
Um, so I went to my first acting class, mind blown, loved it. And then I went to another school and it just, my love for acting just grew. I got a manager pretty fast, which I was thankful for. And I think it just kind of all, I don't know. I felt like I I am meant to be an actress as much as I
Mm,
feel like I'm meant to be a dancer. And I feel like all the pieces of the puzzle kind of came together. And
mhm.
and yeah, like so I just have the best team right now on my side. And I'm really like my ultimate goal is to be a full-time actress. And then I want to open up hopefully like some type of center or program, like a mentorship program where, especially catering toward the kids, just work artists come in and they basically teach these kids,
Mhm.
singing, dancing, acting. It's like a performing arts school where we just really
Yeah.
mentor kids and people that have dreams of being, you know, on TV and on stage. And so, yeah, so I'm working my butt off right now. And I I'm relentless and I'm going to make it
Mm.
happen. Whenever
Absolutely.
God
I
is
mean,
like, you're ready, Emily.
hey, I
But
mean, honestly, if you're working that hard, you're putting the 10,000 hours in, as they say, as cliche as that is, you're supposed to reap the rewards you sow. And for me
mhm,
as well, just seeing really your journey and now how it's come from, like you said, even the work with AGT, then working, of course, with Teen Wolf. You've done Runaways, you've done Lifetime movies, and especially now one of the series, the Netflix series, Selena.
mm,
Um, that right there for me to see that, and then as well having Timothy Lanier, Cecily a part of it as well, someone that we know. I think that
mhm,
was really special as well because I know, especially with Selena, how important she is to the culture, Latino culture, or
100%.
just music in general. My question to
Mhm,
you really is getting that opportunity. What was it like when, I would say you got that call or you got that, that shot to be the
mhm.
choreographer?
Yeah, so there was a director of choreography, Rodrigo Basurto, and he
Mhm.
was the one that called me in for this job. And I was very excited. Very, I think I didn't really have time to celebrate it. I was like,
Mhm.
I went immediately to like doing research and doing my homework and just making sure that I was overly prepared for this opportunity. And I think that also what's very important is that, I tell people all the time, I said, being an artist or being whatever it is that you
Yeah.
want to do, you have to be ready always. And so I felt like because of my years of experience, my daily doings. Like
Mhm.
I'm constantly just I'm just waiting for the phone call. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
like my daily actions allow me to be ready for like whatever opportunity is like presented to me. You know what I mean? So just being ready always. And one thing that's really helped me, because a lot of these opportunities, as amazing and great grand as
Yeah.
they are, they're scary because you're like, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's like all this self-sabotage and the negative self-talk
Mhm.
starts to like come up. So what's very important is, I always say, it's 100% mindset and then another 100% hard work. So
Mm.
you got to have the perspective, and you got like an empowering perspective to get you up every day,
Yeah.
right? To be able to do what you got to do to stay ready, with the faith and the belief that doors will open. So it's like both work hand in hand, and that's the biggest thing as an artist, is like, what's your mindset like?
Yeah.
What's who are you around? Like, are you protecting, your circle? Are you protecting your mind? Staying positive, staying in it's like, it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
because, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, every day I want to wake up and I want to like kick ass every day. It's like, no,
Yeah.
there's days where I'm like, yo, like, can I do this? Am I doing the right thing?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, in my heart, I know that I am. And I just got to just quiet the noise, because it's
Mhm.
just all like things that everybody has, you know what I mean? And I just got to keep going, and I got to be ready with faith that doors are
Mm.
going to open up and opportunities are going to present themselves. But I need to be able to take that step. I feel
Yeah.
like I believe in God so much, and I feel like he is my rock. I pray all the
Mhm.
time, and I have my conversations with him. But I really feel that if I don't take the first step, he's not going to help me take the second step. And I
Mm.
think a lot of people want so much, which is great, right? We're all dreamers. But it's like, you guys, you have to understand that God's not going to give you
Yeah.
what you want unless he sees that you really want it, and are taking the steps necessary, and putting out the effort to move forward, and to really, put in the work for whatever it is that you want. And so
Mhm.
I'm a true believer in that. So yeah, I just went off on a little tangent, but
No, I
but that's
appreciate
what
it
I
because
really believe.
it's true. Because again, people don't understand. It's not just saying you do one routine, everything works for you, and everybody's going to appreciate it. It's really they want to see more. It's really that
Hmm.
cliche saying of "What have you done for me lately?" The work
Hmm.
you've done previously, they want to see more of it and see what else you're able to produce. But being able to see that throughout the years, you've just been really a symbol of reinvention. Being able to go from just the Latin symbolics to Junior and Emily to really Emily Alabi. That's what I appreciate because you, of course, staking your own claim, pushing your brand. I think that's really important. And I've also been seeing you be getting into some bachata as well, which I appreciate. Much
That's
love,
for
of course.
fun. That's for fun. That's
Absolutely. So at least my last question before we get into the segment, the randoms, is, with COVID, especially 2020, it was a really hard year. But for me, it was a lot of self reflection and understanding that a lot of the artists that we know personally, or we've seen in passing, our dance community looks a lot different. A
Mhm.
lot of people's priorities are different. A lot of the same artists that I remember seeing, I don't see them as often because they've had a new focus, a new understanding on life and what they truly want to do.
Mhm.
Really, my question to you is, how was it, adapting to, the dance world, the entertainment industry in general, kind of
Mhm.
being put on hold, and how is it now, kind of in 2021?
Mhm. I think we all kind of had like a freak out moment where we're like, oh my God, like what's gonna happen? All the
Hmm.
events were canceled, and yeah, we are like, I don't know what we're gonna do. But I know that immediately after those 5 minutes, Junior and I were like, okay, how can we use this time as productively as we can So what we did is we just stepped up our creative game. We really stepped up our social media game. We really, focused on like our fitness and not only our physical health, but our mental health. And I
Hmm.
really feel like the year of COVID, it forced me to kind of really be present to
Yeah.
how not present I was. Like
Mm.
I am the type of person where my mind, it's hard for me to sit still because my mind is always like go 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 go.
Yes.
And so because I'm so go 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 go, a lot of the times I forget like the now, and I have
Hmm.
to remind myself like, Emily, you need to be present to like this moment right now and whatever it
Yeah.
is that you're doing. So COVID really forced me to look into that.
Hmm.
And then also just my mindset. I feel like I really got into reading, I got into like meditation, I got into like just deeper prayer and connection with God. And I feel like because I worked on really what I feel are like the foundational tools that I need to be a good person and to be successful and to be on this path that I really want to, because I was able to work on that. I feel like I'm inspired more than ever coming into to the now and to 2022. um and I feel grounded, and I feel how to explain it. I just feel good. I'm happy. I feel peaceful, and I'm trusting whatever is happening without really questioning it or trying to figure it out. I feel like things happen in our life sometimes where we're like, whoa, like, why did that happen? Or like, we try to like, and it's like, no, no, no. God placed it there, whatever it is, or He didn't place it there for whatever reason. We got to trust that and just continue. And I tell everybody, I'm like, just stay on the path. Just stay on the path. Don't get consumed by all the crap that's happening and try to question everything. And it's like, just be grateful and stay on the path and just trust the timing of everything. You know what I mean? So I think just having that thought process has really, it's almost like taken a weight off, because now I'm like, okay, God, like, thank you. I trust you and I have faith, versus being like, why? I don't understand, being that person. Um, so yeah, so I'm excited for the end, as much time as we have left this year, and I'm excited for life, for whatever happens. Oh, I can't hear you. Oop.
Sorry,
Oh, there
you're
we
able
go.
to hear me. Gotcha. Sorry. No, really, what I
Gotcha.
was saying was
It's okay.
just being able to hear your truth and your honesty about things, of how you interpret things. Because honestly, people don't really understand. Everybody wants to be in Hollywood. Everyone wants to be in the industry, but doesn't understand the mental toll it takes to be successful.
Oh my God, yeah.
Just
Yeah.
realizing, and don't get me wrong, I've been to events that I'm hearing people say, oh, if I do this, then I can get there. But they don't understand is that you have to work day in, day out to keep that up, because there's always someone new. There's always someone,
Yep.
some new act, something new, refreshing, some viral moment. But
You
realizing,
have
too,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. What were you
Yeah.
saying?
No, you have to work harder than everybody. And you have to have confidence in
Yeah.
yourself. And that's another thing. It's like just being confident in your own abilities, in whatever it is. If I want to be a doctor, if I mean, I have these conversations right now with my cousin who's in like nursing school, and she's like, it's so competitive, and I'm like, listen, but nobody's gonna do what you do, because you
Mhm.
do what you do, and you're the only person that does what that. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you gotta own that. You gotta own that, and I think just not being afraid to really just go after what it is that you want, because I think a lot of times, even for myself, at times I'm like, it's so far away, it's
Yeah.
so unreachable, how am I even gonna, that's like unreal. But it's like, no, it's like, if I want that, I gotta just be solution based mindset and figure out how do I get there, right? By doing your research. Everything's on Google right now,
Yep.
right? And it's not going to give you the blueprint of like, okay, ABC 1 2 3. This is what you got
Hmm.
to do. But there is some formula, right, that you can follow that will get you closer every day. And
Mm.
also, a lot of people, just speaking honestly, a lot of people don't want to go through it. They want to go
Yes. Thank you.
around it and just boop, I
Yep.
made it,
Everything
or I
is
got my
given to me.
degree, and it's
Yeah.
like, no. It's that's what I say. Like, I'm grateful for all the ups and the downs, all,
Yeah.
and as much as we don't want to experience anything where it's going to make us feel sad or angry
Yeah.
or whatever, it's like, you got to understand something. You got to go through it, because if you
Mhm.
don't go through it, the process, right, the journey is
Yeah.
really what makes you the better person at the end of it, or the person that's ready to step into whatever it is that you want to do. Like, I don't know if you saw the Netflix thing that just came out with J Balvin, and he
No, I
was,
haven't yet. I haven't.
yeah, you check it out. It's amazing. He used to perform for zero people,
Mm.
but it was this relentless passion and this belief of like, yo, I want to do this, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. And it may not be now, it may not be in a year, but whenever God's like, this is your appointed time, I'm gonna be more
Yeah.
than ready. So it's like, every day in the studio working, every day, making sure that, like, my physical health, my mental health, everything is
Yeah.
on point, making sure that, I'm protecting my peace, I'm protecting, and every day, it's an everyday effort. And what I was
Mm.
saying about the perspective and the mentality is, if it's 100%, because if you don't
Yeah.
have the empowering perspective, right, in the mindset, you're not going to want to get up every, like,
Exactly.
on the days that you really have to, like, it's the consistency of it. um so yeah, it's a mental game, 100%,
You know,
100%.
and that's the thing, is just hearing this from you. That's what I appreciate, is the human side, because people see the performances, they see the lights, they see the glamour, and they say, wow, they can do it all. But also having you just speak about who you are as a person, how you soak things in, and saying, yeah, there are times I'm not going to always be at my best or feel my best, but
Hmm.
again, the job has to get done. And
The
and
job has to get
realizing,
done.
yeah, you being resilient, and that's what's important, but also being determined and having that drive. Just
For
like
sure.
like you said earlier, with Junior and you kind of falling into the wrong crowd as you were younger. Also, you and Junior taking that initiative of doing those classes with your dad and keep going, because you could have stopped at any time.
For
At
sure.
any
It's
time.
all the
So really,
choice.
yes, everything I really, as I always say, everything happens for a reason. And just
For
hearing
sure.
about how everything, it's a beautiful thing to hear, because it's honesty. It's not cliche. It's not fake. It's not made up. This is your life. And just as
Hmm.
much as you succeed, you also go through your trials and tribulations. So,
Oh, 100%.
so now it brings us to our last segment called the randoms, which is about 10 questions that allows me and the audience to get to know you a lot better. So, Emily, all I need to know is when you are ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Number one is, if you could have one meal right now, what is it?
Oh, I'm such a foodie. A seafood pasta.
Mmm.
Like,
We're
I
talking
love,
shrimp,
like,
lobster.
shrimp. Yeah, that I love scallop, shrimp, lobster, crab meat, everything, just like in a nice seafood pasta.
Oh, okay. All right. Next question is, and we're going to go into the dance world now. What is a huge pet peeve of yours when you're social dancing with someone?
Ooh, okay. When guys get really sweaty and then,
Oh,
like, they turn or they do something and then their sweat goes on you,
oh my
I'm like,
God.
ah. So I'm like, change your shirt, guys. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm like, ah. I'm just like, to touch sweat. I don't really like to touch other people's
Hey,
sweat.
guys, leads, please have some towels ready. Be dry when you dance with Emily. I'm fair warning. All right. Next question is, if you can close your eyes right now and open them and be at one event right now, what would it be?
LA Congress with Albert Torres still here.
Mm, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely rest in peace to Albert Torres. I mean, that
Oh my
LA
God. Yeah.
Congress for so many years.
Hmm.
All right, next question here is, if someone's coming to California, I'm assuming you guys right now are residing in Los Angeles, am I correct?
Yes.
So right now, a friend of yours is coming to Los Angeles. They're saying, "Hey, I'm coming to LA. What's the first place you're taking them to?"
In and out.
Oh, are we talking animal style fries?
Yes, of
Hey, I know
course.
about that. I know about that. Hey,
You know about
don't get me
that.
wrong. In and out is great, but it's not great before tech rehearsal. It's definitely not
Yeah.
the way, the way to go.
Sounds like you're speaking
Yes.
from experience. No.
I mean, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. All right. Next question is, if you could be at an event and you have one show that you can see, it's a Saturday night closing show, last performance, you have the control of saying, I want this artist right now. Who is it?
Oh, that's hard. There's a lot of amazing artists. I think Eddie Torres.
Got to give it
Just
up to him.
because, yeah, just because, Eddie's the man, and just seeing his passion and flavor on stage, and just seeing him in his, being at the age that he's at, and he's still just loving it. I think Eddie,
Yes.
nobody has the love that he has for the stage and for the music and for the dancing, and just to see that, yeah.
Absolutely, definitely. All right, next question is, if you could have a store right now, what is the name of your store?
I am.
Okay.
So my boyfriend and I are actually coming out with a line called I Am that'll be
Mm,
launching really soon. It's an affirmations clothing line.
okay.
So I'm not going to say anything more, but I'm
Okay.
really, really, really inspired and passionate about
Mhm.
this project, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. So I am.
Okay. All right. Next question is actually has to deal with the Jay Celez. How was that experience on the set of Senorita?
It was fun, but it was also scary because it was like during COVID time. So
Mm.
I was like, should I not? Like it was a little scary, but it was honestly such a good time. Like everybody was super cool, and I think just being around people just felt good. And I was like, man, I miss this. So yeah, it was fun. Lots of fun. Lots of dancing, lots of singing. It was good.
All right. Nate, give me one experience from your acting career thus far that for you just sticks in your mind. Maybe some advice from a cast member or just a specific moment happened that really just stays in your mind.
When I was doing Teen Wolf, still one of my favorite sets by far. I never forget. There was a moment where I pulled the sword out of Arden Cho,
Hmm.
and I was so in the moment, and I remember just I don't know. I gave it all, I guess, and I like pulled it out. And I never forget the director, the producers, everybody in Video Village just came out and were like jumping up and down in so much
Hmm.
joy. And they were like, "Oh my God, that was so good." And I was like, "Oh my God, okay, cool." Because
Yeah.
it was my first big like network gig, and I was so
Yeah.
scared. And so that moment was confirmation for me immediately that it's like you just got to trust yourself, and you can do this,
Yeah.
and you're meant to be here. So I'll never forget that moment. Never.
Mm. All right. Second before last question. If you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be?
Passionate.
Mm. That definitely is true, 110%. And now it brings us to our last question. This one is a little more introspective. And Emily, it goes like this. When everything is kind of, as they say, quote unquote, over, when, years later, if you're not in the same capacity, if you've moved on to something else, how would you like to be remembered?
I want to be the person that inspired the person
Mm.
to go after whatever it is that they want to do. And I want people to remember me like, because Emily did it, she inspired me to know that, like, she inspired me to do it and to know that I could do it despite my circumstances, despite where I come from, despite it all. But like,
Yeah,
she inspired me to do it.
man.
That's what I want
That,
to be remembered by.
That is amazing. And honestly, Emily, thank you so much for doing this segment. Before we get to the conclusion of this discussion tonight, I just really honestly want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because for me, you're the reason, and like many other people, are the reasons that I do this platform, because artists like us, as I've said, a lot of times our lives are captured in a few minutes of a clip, but actually having the opportunity to hear your story from your mouth, it's so rewarding. All the gems you've been giving us, all the amazing advice, all the stories and experiences. I love it. And, just having this genuine, natural, there's no crazy light structures, just for me, having this one on one with you means a lot, because just to say, I've seen how far you've come and I see where you're headed. And you're not, for me, I don't even feel you're at your peak yet, and, it's an honor to, I would say, call you a friend. Honestly, it's been
Oh, Diamond.
you
Thank
know,
you. I'm so proud of you. And I think that what you're doing is helping people and inspiring them, to be the better version of themselves and to go after their dreams. And I think that, it's really important what you're doing. And I think people, yeah, whatever I can do to support, we're a community, and I think that we should be supporting each other and our dreams and our growth and everything that we want to accomplish. So do it. You're doing it. You're killing it, and I'm just so proud of you. So
thank.
proud of you.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
we've come so far, from Friday, Saturday nights at the LA Congress, hotel room craziness, going to get food after. But, honestly, just seeing your growth and progression and seeing where you're headed, I'm thankful that we have a person like you within our dance world, but just in life, just people who are really good human beings. And, before we go, at least, I would love to know if you had any last few words for myself and the audience, but also contact info on how people can see what you're up to next.
yeah. So you could follow me on Instagram, on Facebook. We just started a TikTok. But it's Junior and Emily Alabi. Just type it in, we'll show up. Just say hi, and I'm really here to, and I mean it. Like, if you any questions or any advice or any tips, like I'm more than happy to help. If you just want to say hi, just come and say hi. But I know the struggle and how difficult it is to be, especially an artist. And so any light that I could share, from my own experience, I would be more than happy to like help, anybody. So, and like I said before, it's a lot of hard work, but it's never impossible.
Hmm.
So whatever you want to do, whoever you want to be, you can do it, and you should do it, because we only get one life to live. So why not?
Wise words never spoken. And just honestly, Emily, just spitting gems. And honestly, thank you so much for tonight. I thank everyone for tuning in who will be tuning in the future. We will be putting up clips of this episode starting tomorrow so everyone can catch up. Everyone, thank you so much. This has been another episode of the Live Discussions with Diamond podcast, episode 140, with the amazing Emily Alabi, all the way out there on the West Coast. I want to thank everyone who's tuning in on Tu Bachata Radio, everyone on YouTube, Facebook, and more. Everyone, thank you so much. Stay safe, and we will see you soon. Everyone, peace.